Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. So this video is going to be all about ball pythons. So as you may have known, if you've been following me here or on my Instagram and Twitter, I just got another snake and she is a baby ball python. So this is Nova. Nova is still a little bit scared. This is only the third time that I have ever handled her, so we're just starting to bond now. Again, if you've been following me, you'll know that I got her just over a week ago. I'm filming this on Saturday, and Tuesday was a week, so just about 2 weeks now. And so I let her settle in, and I gave her her first meal, which she ate like a champ, thankfully. I was very worried about that because, again, if you've been following me, you know that my last snake passed away because I couldn't get him to eat. So, big relief that she ate. She's doing super well. She's not flighty or bitey. She does go into a little bit of a ball, which we'll talk about later, why she does that if you don't know anything about ball pythons. And but she is super curious. She's coming out all the time to explore her enclosure, and she's actually starting to come out here right now. Her tongue is flicking, and she's getting curious now. So she's doing great. She's doing absolutely great. But just like I've done for all of my other pets, I wanted to kind of give a little blurb about ball pythons. So I've done it before in the past with my scarlet macaw and my sugar gliders and my corn snakes and all of that. I've given little blurbs of just the species in general. So that's what this video is going to be. If it doesn't interest you, there's plenty of other videos on my channel. But if it does, or you want to know a little bit more about ball pythons, stick around. You're going to learn a little bit. So this is my first ball python. And I did a little research before I got her, just on the general, well, actually I did a lot of research on her, and I was talking to my breeder and all of that, and found out quite a bit about ball pythons. So here we go, stick around. Just a little bit of background about them, and you know how I hate scientific names, but I'm going to try and pronounce this scientific name for them. I'm probably going to butcher it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just how I am. I think it is pronounced, though, Python regius. Interestingly enough, they didn't start out that way. They started out with the scientific name of Boa regia, which was proposed as a name for them back in 1802 by a fellow by the name of George Shaw. Later on, George Shaw was also the person that named them Python regius. So that's just a little kind of a background thing for you. When they were first named Boa regia, they were named for a pale python from an indistinct place in Africa. It was very vague, very vague. But yeah, that's a little bit of their scientific name. Obviously, their more known name is the ball python. However, that didn't start out like that either. They originally were called the royal python. And this was because in Africa, it was said that a lot of the royalty wore these snakes as jewelry. And that's why they were named the royal python. To this day, that name is actually still used. Sometimes breeders or owners will still refer to them as the royal python and not the ball python. They got their name ball python from this behavior of curling into a ball when they are unsure, when they're being attacked or anything like that. As you can see, her head is already starting to come out and she's exploring. When they completely curl into a ball, they will tuck their heads down into the center to protect them. And that's when you know they are really unsure. She's really starting to bond to me and come to trust me, so she's coming out of that ball already. But it's a good thing to see. But yeah, that's how they got their name, ball python. So in the wild, ball pythons are usually black or dark brown with light brown blotches on the back and sides. I will put a picture over here for you of a wild type ball python that you can find in Africa. However, in captivity, breeders have bred all different morphs. This morph that you're seeing right here is called a phantom morph. There are literally thousands of different morphs out there, different colors and everything like that. Hi! You are so distracting while I'm trying to do this video. You know that, right? In the wild, females will grow about 6 feet long, and they can reach a maximum weight of 3.6 pounds. Males are smaller, but in captivity, they've been bred down. So in captivity, it's not unusual to see a full-grown female ball python only reach about 4 to 5 feet. I mentioned in my unboxing video up here, I think, that my breeder that I got her from originally had bought 2 ball pythons, a male and a female, from the wilds of Africa, where it is not unheard of to take them out of the wild. They are so populated there that it doesn't even matter taking them out of the wild there. It's legal to do it. And he bought 2 wild caught ball pythons, and over the years he's kept breeding back into that family line, so all of his ball pythons have the potential to reach that 6 feet if they're a female, which she is, so she has potential for 6 feet. So it's going to be interesting to watch her grow and see exactly how big she does get. We're going to find out. So this is a good plug-in. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell if you want to follow her life. Also follow us on Instagram, because I'll just be posting random pictures and videos of her there. So if you want to follow this little monkey's journey, follow along. Further behavior, this is a terrestrial species, meaning that they mainly stick to ground level. They will climb, but they're very clumsy. And so they fall a lot. So in her enclosure, you can see her baby tank right here. I have some things that she can climb, but they're relatively kept close to the ground. She has climbed for sure, and she has fallen off of them for sure. So yeah, it's just better to keep it close to the ground, so if they do fall off, they don't hurt themselves. We already talked about the curling into the ball for their defense mechanisms, and their favorite retreats are mammal burrows and other ground hiding places, and termite mounds. Termite mounds are where they get their humidity from. So in captivity, it's best to keep their humidity higher. However, if you're having trouble keeping their humidity higher, you can also provide them with a humid hide box, which they can then go in to get that humidity, and that kind of acts as their termite mound. She does have a humid hide box, and I keep the humidity just in my general room higher for her. So yeah, males, funnily enough, males tend to display more semi-arboreal behaviors, so they tend to climb more than the females, which tend to stick closer to the ground. Now, it's not known why they do this. It is guessed at that it might be due to, you know, the females being too heavy with eggs or stuff like that, or they grow bigger so they're a bit slower, so it's easier for them to hide on the ground than in the trees. but it's not actually known why they do this. This one is a female, and she has been showing climbing behaviors, so that's not like strictly a male thing. Females do it too. Moving on. As far as diet is concerned, in the wild, it mostly consists of small mammals, such as rodents, shrews, and birds. But they also eat mice and stuff like that. They also eat different types of mammals. A lot of them are like the Gambian pouched rats, the black rats, the refused nose rats, the shaggy rats, and the striped grass mice. So it's very diverse. They're you are so distracting. Yes, you are. When they're young, 28 inches or shorter, they tend to stick on to eating small birds because they're smaller prey. As they get larger than 28 inches, they move on to the mammals. In captivity, it's easiest for us to feed them either mice or rats, with rats being the preferred method just because rats get larger. So rather than having to feed them multiple food items as they grow bigger, or trying to change them from the mice to the rats, which some can be a little bit stubborn with that, it's easier just to start feeding them rats right off the bat, and then you only have to feed them one prey item and you don't have to switch them, which is what I'm doing. She is eating rats and she loves them, so that's a good thing. Just touching a bit on their reproduction. I'm not going to go into a lot of the breeding stuff because I'm not a breeder, so I didn't really do a lot of research on that. But females are oviparous, which means that they lay eggs. They don't give live birth. They lay 3 to 11 rather large, leathery eggs. The eggs hatch after 55 to 60 days. During the time of incubation, the mother will stay with the eggs and keep them warm and keep them protected. But once the babies hatch, the mother will leave and the babies are on their own. They're born knowing everything they need to know. Male pythons will reach maturity anywhere between 11 and 18 months of age, and females at 20 to 36 months of age, so a little bit longer. In captivity, I do know that they tend to go more by weight than by age in breeding. So when your ball python reaches a certain weight, then it's safe to breed them. I don't know what that weight is because, like I said, I don't plan on breeding, so I didn't do a lot of research on that. Yeah, ball pythons in captivity can survive on average 25 to 30 years. However, there have been documentations of ball pythons living up to 60 years in captivity, but that is quite rare. The oldest recorded ball python living in captivity was 62 years old. And that ball python spent 59 years of its life in the St. Louis Zoo. So, you know, on average, I could have Nova 25 to 30 years. That could be longer. We don't know. We will have to wait and see. Yeah, so another fun fact about them is that, like I said earlier in the video, it's not illegal to take them from the wilds of Africa. It's actually quite legal to do. And in my research that I did, it said tens of thousands are exported from the wilds of Africa per year. That's how densely populated Africa is with these guys. They're on the least concerned list because there are so many of them still in the wild. and so many people breeding them in captivity. That's ball pythons in a nutshell. Really. I'm not going to go into like housing them and doing all that. If you want, I can make a future video. Right now we're going through smaller enclosures. It's best to start small with these guys, and as they grow, their enclosures can grow. So she's in a tank that is 20 gallons right now, and as she grows larger, that tank will grow larger. Currently, I'm thinking she's probably not going to be in the 20 gallons for long. I'm guessing maybe 2, maybe 3 months, and then she will be moving up in size. Once we get to her adult enclosure, again, I don't know how long that's going to be. I'm just going to go by her size. It's recommended that you pay attention to your snake and make sure that your snake can fully stretch out along one side of the enclosure. If they can fully stretch out on that side, then it's a good size for them. If they're scrunched, it's not big enough. And if they can stretch out fully and they have tons of room to either side of them, it's too big. So once they hit adult size, it's recommended a minimum of a 40-gallon tank. However, larger is better. As long as there are plenty of hides, plenty of clutter in the bottom of the enclosure so that they feel safe, you can go as large as you want, really. I do have a video, I'll post that up here up above, of me making her big enclosure. I've already started it. Haven't finished it yet. It'll be finished when she's ready to move into it, essentially. So I am prepared for when she's full grown. However, we're just going to take it one day at a time. Right now we're still bonding. As you can see, she has completely come out of her ball. This is her coloring. She has flaring down the sides, a white belly. There's her head. So she is getting quite a bit more comfortable with me. The first day that I got her, she was in a ball quite a bit. The first time that I held her after that, which was a couple days ago now, she stayed in a ball for probably, I'm going to say like 5-6 minutes before she came out of the ball and started exploring. And now she barely stays in the ball at all. She just comes out and starts exploring. So I think we're really going to bond quite well. And hopefully within the next year or so, again, I'm just going to pay attention to the snake, and when she's ready, she's ready. She will be joining my educational program, so I'll be taking her places to meet different people. So I do want her quite well socialized, which is why I'm handling her quite a bit right now, just so that she can get used to that. I don't want to stress her out, so I'm being careful not to handle her too much. But really, as long as she continues eating, that means that she's not stressed. So there's little Nova. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little update of how she's doing, give you a little blurb of ball pythons in general. If you guys have any questions about her particularly or the breed in general, a little yawn. I don't know if you saw that on camera, but she yawned and it was so cute. Yeah, if you have any questions about her or her breed in general, just let me know. Comment below and I will try and compile those questions together and answer them in another video. So thanks for tuning in to welcome little Nova to my family. There she is again. I don't know if you can see around her mouth, but she has little holes by her mouth there. Those are what we call heat pits. Those are how they hunt. So rather than hunting by sight or by smell, they mostly hunt by sensing the heat of the rodent or the mammal or whatever they're eating. And that's how they know where to strike, is at the heat source. They also have cat eyes, or is what they call them, really. So corn snakes have round pupils, where ball pythons have slitted pupils like a cat. So it's very pretty to see. Once she starts getting more used to me being close to her and stuff, I'll try and get a picture of that. But for now, we're just going slow. So thank you for tuning in. I will be posting more pictures and updates of her on Instagram, so follow us there, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.